Warriors, what's good? Checking on y'all. Hope all is well. There's a lot going on. We already know that. But man, I've had quite a few dreams. I've had quite a few conversations, and I've had a lot of thoughts. And briefly, just want to just touch on something that I already know the Warriors are not unfamiliar with, which is discipline. And discipline is something that's been like the saving grace of my life for so many different reasons at so many points in time. So I'll say this, because we already know what discipline is, I'm not gonna play you like that. It's easy to have discipline when everything is working like it's supposed to. Just hear me. It's easy to have discipline when you don't have any hindrances of any sort. And it look pretty. When you don't got nothing in your way and you discipline, it looks beautiful. But discipline carries more weight when you're weak, when you're tired, when you're depressed, when you're frustrated, when you are just feeling a certain type of way. Because feelings have an incredible ability to rob you of the labor of what you're trying to get after. So I'm not going to get too wordy with that. But basically, you got to have this do it anyway attitude. And especially for the young Warriors, you're going to have to get to a point to know, like, how much can you do? How far can you push yourself to know your limits? And when you reach your limit, your body, your mind, whatever, it will let you know, like, hey, that's all we got. You know what I mean? And the reason why I feel like this is so important in my life for various reasons is because at certain points in time, not feeling well, my body wouldn't allow me to move, but it was certain things that I wanted to get done. So then I had to have a get it done attitude anyway. And this is kind of reminding me of a conversation that I heard like years ago, and he probably doesn't even remember him having this conversation. But I was listening to a friend that's a fighter, and he was talking to another fighter. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to my man, Al Capitan, and the whole Evolve family. But I was listening to this brother talking about return fire. How important it is to return fire. And he had a whole philosophy. This is before he even went pro. And he was just talking about, like, when you in the trenches and you getting hit, the only way out is to return fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to return fire. And he said a whole lot of other things too, but that was the premise of the conversation. And it rung in my ears forever. Not in regard to like fighting in that capacity, but fighting for mental balance. Because at that particular time in my life, I was definitely sick. Like I said many times before, I was dealing with some nerve pain in my face, life was just pretty jacked up. So it's very easy for you to create more of what they call ants, automatic negative thoughts. So the ants just be getting at you, coming in from everywhere. You're trying to think positive, and you so shell shocked from things that have happened that you get these automatic negative thoughts. And I decided that I was going to return fire on every thought that I didn't want, which was a task. Sounds easy, but it was a task. But I became so disciplined with it, not only just with, if I had a thought, I would say a positive affirmation, something like, there's no power in the lie, which being the fear. And I don't fear to lie. So every time something come up, just say that to yourself over and over and over. Or people who are religious or, have some level of faith. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Christ. Thank you, Allah. Whatever it is for you. Because you're countering that thought. This is like mental alchemy to some degree. So discipline and mental alchemy. Got tongue-tied there. So I'm looking at the discipline that I've had in those seasons and how I wear that discipline now. That's the great thing about it. Once you struggle with something and you push your way through and you become stronger than that obstacle, or you can raise your vibration so that now you're able to hold a certain frequency where that doesn't even, you can be around it or them people or something or a situation, and it has no effect on you because of where you vibrating, energy math. So, back to discipline. Because of all of these changes that we're having in the universe currently, there's lots of shifts happening, lots of big planets moving that only move every decade, every century, whatever, right? And everything just been like really in a transient state. It's not really what it was prior to 2020 especially, and it's not really what it's going to be from what we can see now, right? Just collectively, people, ideologies, governments, the world as a whole, everything's getting shaken up. Now, there are so many things that play into wanting to steal your level of awareness from you. It can be you. It can be your environment. It can be the people you're around, so on and so forth. So it's really important right now while we're in transition to be grounded as possible mentally. But you're going to have some thoughts that come up that really aren't yours or really aren't aligning to what you would like to see for yourself. But the emotions behind it can be so strong that you can actually be robbed of the victory that you're looking for. So on these thoughts, you got to be able to return fire. Okay? Remember, returning fire comes with a couple different things from this particular angle. What are you reading? What are you consuming, right? Are you moving your body? What are you eating? All of these things come into play. All right, so those are the basics. But beyond that, now let's say that you're doing everything you can, but all cylinders are not firing off like they need to. Most likely it's because of the food. The food lacks nutrients and micronutrients. For someone who's already been in the trenches, they need substance. So if someone hasn't been through a lot of things I can't really say that because everybody biochemistry is different. But basically, if you've been in the trenches, just having hard times building up stress of any kind in the body, you deplete the body of its natural resources. So therefore you need to replenish it, and you can't always get it through food. And if it's something a little more than that, you may need some medicine to help balance it, or supplementation is what I like to call it, because supplementation definitely did a lot for me, like with the Irish moss and the different bitters that you can drink to keep the blood clean and keep the parasites out and things like that. Because what people don't realize is that when certain planet alignments happen, if you're full of parasites, I know this is crazy, but those parasites get activated under certain alignments, like the full moon. You see people acting crazy during the full moon. So that can be for a lot of reasons, but one of those is because they probably have parasites. But not to digress too much into that, because we're coming up on 10 minutes. Just stay locked in on this discipline thing. Have your routine is, create a routine, keep your routine, and just do it anyway. I got some things right now that I've been working on for a minute, and I love what I'm doing, but it's like, it's so tedious at times. And you know what? I do it anyway. And because I do it anyway, I look at my progress just from this May to last May, and I'm better than the May before that. So I just feel like it's a great time to take advantage of this transition, because transition, I like to explain with the analogy of like ice water. So if ice is going to water, that transition is a really violent process. Like the ice heats up, molecules are moving faster, they're breaking apart. You got some things that are vapor, some that are water, some that are still ice. So in transition, it looks like nothing, it's just pieces of everything, right? And that's where it's easy to get caught up in something that isn't going to assist you in your purpose or add value to what you're looking for. That's where you have to stay grounded during that transition. Because after coming out of the transition, when all of that ice became water, sometimes you still might not feel like you've reached your goal, because you don't feel like water, because you still feel like ice because it's cold. That's where patience comes in. So if there's anything that I said in regard to this and this whole thing, discipline is not an option. We know this. And you're going to need patience. So just kind of wanted to just say something to you guys. Of course, I can say a lot more, but I'm going to keep it tight. Hope all is well. And I'll see y'all soon. Peace.